stank.
Homes. We all want one. Most of us live in them. What's the deal with that?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, I don't know. I played another 3 Ikeelya games, and this time they all have to deal with houses or dwellings of some sort, and that's the theme we're going to stick with this time. We'll see how the algorithm likes it. This time, rather than all dark and horror games, we have a bit of a mixed assortment of genres. I guess they're all kind of twisted, and if you really stretch it, you could call them kind of horror-like, but not really. Also, I want to say this at the beginning of the video this time, because apparently YouTube likes that, but if you have any suggestions for games you want to see covered, leave them below, and maybe like and subscribe while you're down there. Only if you feel like it. And now that that's out of the way, let's start with our first game. Doghouse 2 is a game where you build a doghouse for your sweet boy Leonard. Look at him, he's adorable. We've got some instructions on how to build our furry friend a new home, but we're going to need to head to the garage to get our supplies. Alright, let's open up this door. Oh, look at Lenny. He just can't wait to move into his new place. I'll have it ready in no time, buddy. Okay, I've got my plywood and some nails. I would have used screws personally, but these should work fine. Just need to grab my hammer, and look at that. We've got a great little start here. Oh, the oven's beeping. Let's go check it. Not quite done yet. Time to... Why'd the lights go out? I'll deal with that later. Maybe a faulty breaker or something? I'm gonna go finish the doghouse. Okay, prefab roof. Great, love the color. Let's weld this steel door on. Makes sense to me. Not too shabby if I... Leonard? What's going on, buddy? Bad ending. 1 of 5? Oh, okay, it's one of these games. Got it. Retry. Maybe this little radio will soothe him? No? Okay. I can't get back inside. Maybe we have more parts to finish it? No. Well, I can't close the door, but that just kills me as well. I do have a crouch button, so what if I crawl inside and hide from him? Oh, there we go. Ending 3, the mediocre end. We can do better than that. I have an idea. Ha! Got him. Good ending. Okay, so what could these other 2 endings be? There can't be anything else I can do outside. Maybe earlier in the game I could have done something different? Let's go back to when I checked on the lasagna. Leonard's favorite song, eh? Let's go turn the lights back on and see what happens. The song. Wow. Okay, only one ending left. I want to break the immersion here for a second and admit I simply could not figure out the last ending and had to look it up. The 5th and final ending of the game happens if you don't go check on the lasagna when the oven beeps. I liked this game. I thought it was really cute. Apparently it's a recreation of the first game the dev ever made, and the dance and house endings are new. It's obviously really bare bones, like it's only going to take you 20 minutes or so to get all the endings. There are a couple of secrets I left, so go check it out. Next was a game called Agorophobia. For those of you who don't have a bachelor's in psychology, thank you. Agorophobia is basically the fear of being in open spaces and in situations where help might not be available to you and escape might not be possible. And a lot of the time it gets simplified into like just kind of like the fear of leaving your house, which, I mean, it kind of can be, but you know, it's sort of different. I don't know, not that important. The game itself was a pretty short point and click game about getting ready to go hang out with your friends. Seems simple enough, but as you progress, things start to get weirder and weirder. The first thing I tried to do was just heading outside, which teleported me back into the bedroom, now with cobwebs covering the dresser. Going into the bathroom, the character mentions that they need a bath, so that's something we can add to the agenda. Problem is, when we move the curtain, there's a rat in the way. Can't just take a bath with that there. Luckily for us though, if we take the toilet brush and use it to clean the cobwebs off the dresser, gross, we find a rat trap. Then, when we combine it with this rotten cheese from the kitchen, sorry buddy, and we can put him in our inventory as well. Can't wait to see what we need a rat carcass for. Well, we figured out breakfast, a fried egg and some juice with an eyeball in it. Come to think of it, Everything looks kind of weird now. Surely the world isn't changing and becoming more scary, as a metaphor for how scary the world of someone experiencing mental illness can be. Anyway, once we shower and brush our teeth, we get another eyeball. So now we have a red one and a blue one. Well, if we head back to the bedroom, there's now a secret hatch leading into the basement that wasn't there before. Down here, there just so happens to be a door with 2 holes perfect for our new items. Placing them reveals that everything was really normal the whole time, and that was actually the door out of the house. The game ends on a screen with some text written in Polish that, according to Google Translate, means getting out of the bubble isn't easy. It's often scary, downright terrifying, but you made it. This game actually comes from a recent game jam where the prompt was bubble. The way the team interpreted that was someone with a fear of leaving the house using their apartment as a bubble, walling themselves off from the outside world, and showing how difficult it can be to break through that bubble once you've put it up. This is something I think we can all relate to in a post-lockdown world. Those first few weeks and months trying to go back out into the world felt so strange, and it definitely had an extra layer of heaviness when leaving the house and interacting with people again. I think a lot of people still feel that way, isolated and anxious when having to socialize. Personally, I've always struggled with a pretty severe social anxiety, so that period wasn't so strange to me. I'm used to feeling that sense of unease in a crowd and the irrational fear of talking to a stranger. In a way, I felt like I almost had a leg up on a lot of people socially for the first time in my life. They were just experiencing that unease for the first time, where I'd been living with it my whole life. Kind of like when Goku goes to King Kai's little planet and it has the intense gravity that he has to get used to. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, even though I did see the twist coming, it didn't really matter to me because I'm just really happy stuff like this is being made, because it makes me feel less alone. My whole life I thought I was just weird and broken, but seeing stuff like this reminds me that it's a thing with a name that I can work to make better. So thank you to the devs for using this game jam as an opportunity to shed light on a subject like this. The last game today is one that there's a good chance you've already seen or heard about because it's kind of been making the rounds on some Let's Play channels. It's called Ikeelya, and it's become popular for a good reason. The game starts with an empty house layout and looks a lot like a typical Sims-style house decoration game. Before we can pick out any furniture with our meager funds, it looks like someone's at the door. Answering it, we meet one of the 2 characters there is to talk to in this game, Betty. She's come to welcome us to the neighborhood, which also allows us to learn our character's name, Barry. She seems like a nice lady and she leaves us to unpack all of our nothing. If we look down at our little phone notification thing, or whatever it's supposed to be, we can see that our character has gone from thinking of ending things to just plain old depressed. And also that we have a notification of a job that we can do that will earn us almost 10 grand. Seems like Barry's got a pretty lucrative situation going on, with whatever this is. Well, when we click on it, it becomes pretty obvious why the job pays so well. You see, Barry's a hitman, and his job is to snipe targets for a mysterious boss simply referred to as the Man. Gameplay-wise, this translates to a pretty simple flash game style point and click on the target. This juxtaposition of the calming and satisfying interior decorating part of the game with the brutal and callous way you can afford your new desk lamp is not only hilarious, but surprisingly compelling. This is kind of what I wish GTA 5 Online's real estate would have been like. I feel like in that game and a few others that have side activities like this, there's always this fear from the developers that they shouldn't put too much focus on that sort of thing because they need to devote as much time as possible to making the gunplay and car controls fun that you end up with a lot of money and nothing to do with it. Ikeelya scratched an itch I've always felt by fully committing to the slice of life side activity, which in a way made the main missions more fun. Not to make this review too much about bashing other games, but in a game like NBA 2K, the only thing that's fun to do is to play basketball, which is fine because that's what you play the game for after all. But me, because I play the My Career mode, where you play as yourself as an NBA player, I would love it if there was stuff like customizable properties with gaudy furniture to make me feel like I'm actually role-playing as a filthy rich professional athlete. Plus, it's not like they spend that much time updating the gameplay between games anyway. Ikeelya is hitting on something I think a lot of simulator-style games have been doing recently, which is celebrating the mundane. It's the same reason some of us get a lot of enjoyment out of booting up Red Dead 2 and playing dominoes with the NPCs. We want to feel like Arthur Morgan. And along with the gunslinging and adventuring, part of being him is going fishing, hanging out with his friends, and eating stew. Wow, I really can't just talk about this game without yapping about other ones, can I? And they're all Take-Two interactive games as well, which wasn't planned. Anyway, this alone honestly would have been enough to hold my attention for a long time, and believe me, it did. I didn't need to play this game for an hour. But there's one last dynamic I haven't gotten into yet. Barry hates his job. Every time you're out doing a mission, he's complaining the whole time about how bored he is and how much he'd rather be doing interior design. That's the reason for his little happiness meter on the bottom left. It goes up when you spend time decorating Barry's house or when doing some side jobs for his neighbors, and down when he has to go to work. real. There's apparently a TV show, funny enough, called Barry with a very similar premise, but I've never seen it. I've just heard that it's probably heavily influenced by it, which I see nothing wrong with. Like every creative project, it has influences and twists them into something unique, and I'm really happy it exists. The game ends when Barry gets a call from his boss, where you can finally quit and you toss the rifle in the bin, and the game reveals you've actually been playing a demo. And I personally can't wait for a full release. More sniping missions, it may have some new gameplay improvements, and most importantly, new furniture items. That'll do it for this short little video. I got a lot of positive feedback on the last indie game video, so I think I'm going to keep making these. They're really good for keeping my eye on the prize, so to speak, rather than feeling dejected and losing motivation when it's taking me like 3 months to work on a longer video. It even got like triple the views of the Elden Ring video, which was really surprising to me, especially since I'm like the Bloodborne guy kind of, because that's like my base video. Just like last time, the links to the games are going to be in the description. I think they're all worth the time it takes to play them, so go check them out. Anyway, it's a short video, it doesn't need a long outro. I've got a long video I've been working on and I'm still writing the script for it, but I'm pretty excited about that. And I have no plans to stop doing these weird little indie game videos. So if either of those things sound interesting, like and subscribe and leave a comment if there's an indie game you think deserves to be in one of these videos. I'll see you next time.